Caviar. Sourced primarily from the unfertilized eggs of wild sturgeon native to the Caspian and Black Seas, this delicacy has been prized by royalty since ancient times. Beluga caviar remains the most sought-after variety due to its large, silky pearls that offer a subtle, buttery flavor with a delicate pop. Because sturgeon take up to 2 decades to reach maturity, strict harvesting regulations and sustainable farming methods now govern its global production. Truffles. These elusive subterranean fungi grow near the roots of specific trees, mostly in the damp woodlands of France and Italy. White truffles from Alba are harvested exclusively in the wild using trained dogs, driving their status as one of the world's most expensive seasonal ingredients. Their intense earthy aroma and pungent garlic-like flavor are extremely volatile, requiring them to be shaved fresh over finished dishes rather than cooked. Wagyu beef. Originating in Japan, this highly marbled beef comes from specific cattle breeds that possess a genetic predisposition to deposit fat inside the muscle tissue rather than around it. The most famous variety, Kobe beef, follows strict quality standards where cattle are raised under carefully controlled conditions to ensure optimal texture. The result is an extraordinarily tender meat with a low melting point that creates a rich melt-in-your-mouth sensation on the palate. Foie gras. A staple of classical French gastronomy, this luxury food product is made from the enlarged liver of a duck or goose. The tradition dates back to ancient Egypt, where observers noticed that waterfowl naturally fattened themselves before seasonal migration. Modern culinary techniques emphasize its velvety texture and rich, savory profile, often pairing it with fruit reductions or toasted brioche to balance its intensity. Saffron. Derived from the dried stigmas of the Crocus sativus flower, this crimson spice has been cultivated across the Mediterranean and Middle East for thousands of years. Each blossom produces only 3 delicate threads, which must be harvested entirely by hand during a very short blooming window in autumn. It takes tens of thousands of flowers to yield a single pound, giving dishes a distinct golden hue, floral aroma, and subtly bitter taste. Iberico ham. Produced in Spain and Portugal, this cured ham comes from the native Iberian pig, which roams freely in oak forests during its final months. Known as Jamón Iberico de Bellota, the finest grade relies on a diet consisting almost entirely of acorns, which imparts a distinct nutty flavor to the meat. The curing process takes anywhere from 2 to 4 years, allowing natural enzymes to transform the fat and create a rich, complex texture. Brie de Meaux. Originating from the historical region of Brie in northern France, this soft ripened cheese earned the moniker of the King of Cheeses during the Congress of Vienna in 1815. Made from unpasteurized cow's milk, it features a bloomy white rind formed by beneficial molds and a pale cream-colored interior that grows increasingly runny at room temperature. Its profile is distinctly savory, blending notes of mushrooms, warm milk, and toasted nuts. Roquefort. Aged inside the natural damp caves of Mont Combalau in southern France, this legendary blue cheese is made exclusively from the milk of Lacaune sheep. According to local lore, the cheese was discovered by accident when a young shepherd left his lunch in a cave, returning later to find mold had transformed it. Inoculated with Penicillium roqueforti, it develops bold blue veins that deliver a sharp, salty taste and a moist, crumbly texture. Kopi luwak. Originating in Indonesia, this rare coffee is produced from beans that have passed through the digestive tract of the Asian palm civet. The natural enzymatic processes occurring within the animal's stomach break down proteins, reducing the inherent bitterness of the coffee beans. Once collected, thoroughly cleaned and roasted, the beans yield a smooth cup of coffee characterized by an earthy, complex flavor and low acidity. Bird's nest. Prized in Chinese medicine and hot cuisine for centuries, this delicacy consists of the hardened saliva nests created by swiftlets in coastal caves across Southeast Asia. Harvesting these high-altitude nests requires extreme precision, as gatherers scale tall bamboo scaffolding to collect them from cliff faces. When dissolved in water and cooked into soup, the nest takes on a gelatinous texture, absorbing the flavors of the broths or syrups with which it is prepared. Matsutake mushrooms. Revered in Japan as a symbol of autumn, these wild mushrooms grow beneath the needle litter of specific pine trees across Asia, Europe, and North America. Attempts to cultivate them artificially have proven unsuccessful, making their annual yield entirely dependent on weather conditions and forest health. They are celebrated for their firm, meaty texture and an unmistakable aroma that combines spicy cinnamon with earthy pine. Surströmming. Produced in Sweden, this lightly salted fermented Baltic Sea herring is notorious for having one of the most pungent food odors in the world. The fish is caught in spring, fermented in barrels for several months, and then sealed in cans where the fermentation process continues until the tins bulge. Due to the intense smell produced by halo-anaerobic bacteria, the cans are almost universally opened outdoors and eaten with flatbread, boiled potatoes, and raw onions. Casu Marzu. Hailing from Sardinia, this traditional sheep's milk cheese is intentionally left outdoors to allow cheese flies to lay eggs inside it. As the larvae hatch and consume the cheese, their digestive process breaks down the fats, transforming the texture into a soft, liquid consistency. It is traditionally eaten while the tiny translucent maggots are still alive inside, as dead larvae indicate the cheese has gone bad. Hákarl. A national dish of Iceland, this delicacy consists of Greenland shark meat that has been fermented and hung to dry for several months. Fresh Greenland shark meat is poisonous due to high concentrations of urea and trimethylamine oxide, making the fermentation process essential to make it safe for consumption. The resulting meat carries a powerful ammonia scent and a distinct rubbery texture that is usually washed down with a shot of local aquavit. Balut. Popular across the Philippines and Southeast Asia, this street food staple is a fertilized duck egg that has been incubated for roughly 2 weeks before being boiled. Inside the shell, the embryo has developed features such as tiny feathers, bones, and a beak. Eaten directly from the shell with a pinch of salt or chili vinegar, it offers a combination of rich broth, savory yolk, and tender meat. Escamoles. Often referred to as Mexican caviar, this dish consists of the edible larvae and pupae of giant velvet tree ants harvested from the roots of agave plants. Gathering the eggs requires careful digging in the harsh desert terrain while fending off aggressive soldier ants. When sautéed in butter with epazote and chilies, the larvae yield a delicate nutty flavor with a texture resembling cottage cheese. Century egg. Originating in China, this preserved food is made by encasing duck, chicken, or quail eggs in a mixture of clay, ash, salt, quicklime, and rice hulls for several weeks to months. The alkaline mixture raises the pH of the egg, transforming the yolk into a creamy dark green paste and the white into a translucent dark brown jelly. The process imparts a strong sulfur and ammonia flavor profile that pairs well with pickled ginger or porridge. Durian. Cultivated throughout Southeast Asia, this large, spiky fruit is famous for its powerful odor, which has led to its ban on public transportation and in hotels across several countries. Beneath the tough, thorny husk lies a custard-like pulp surrounding large seeds. Enthusiasts prize its complex taste, a rich blend of sweet cream, savory garlic, and almond notes, while critics compare its aroma to sweet onions and turpentine.